Everyone, today I'm going to be doing a IMVU display picture tutorial. The first thing you're going to need is some kind of image art editing program. I use Photoshop, but you can also do this in GIMP, anything else that has brushes and layers. And also you can edit the brushes, so nothing like any online thing like on the web page that doesn't have layers or brushes. So the other thing you're going to need is a graphics tablet. Since this tutorial involves pen pressure, I will make a tutorial on how to do hair with a mouse another day. So yeah, if you hear this noise, that is just me changing the brushes on my tablet because I use the hotkeys. So yeah, the first thing you're going to want to do is get your screenshot, and I will link a tutorial made by P-E-Y, who did a wonderful tutorial on how to take an IMVU screenshot in Shop for display pictures. The first thing I do is I make sure that the image size or the canvas size is 100 by 220 pixels, because that is how big IMVU display pictures are, and that is how big you need to make them. Then I go into Google and I find a hair reference of the hair that I want. So I just searched hair Tumblr for this one because that gives lots of good results. And then you can just scroll down and find a hair that you like. I prefer to use real life references since it is more accurate instead of just drawings of hair. And most of these are from the back view, but I will pick... let's go with this one because it is actually kind of the same angle that the screening is in. So I will just right click that, save image as, and save it on my desktop. Then I will go and drag it into Photoshop like so. Then I'll go up to here to Window, Arrange, 2 up vertical so that the image screening is here and then the reference is here, and I can size this down to make it smaller. You can either pick your own colors, which I am not good at, but there's tutorials and such on the internet that will teach you how to do that, or you can just search hair palette DeviantArt, and the one that I use is the Jumbo Hair Palettes by Starship Sorceress on DeviantArt. So yeah, I love their palettes. I think they are really well done and the colors look realistic, and they have a bunch of ones, like they have ones for pastel hair and neon hair. So yeah, so I'll just drag this into Photoshop again, and then I'll go back to Window, Arrange, 3 up, Stacked. So the 2 images are stacked and I still have my reference here. So what you want to do now is make a new layer above your screening layer, and you don't have to name it if you don't want to, since I don't, but you can if you want. Sorry if I sound out of breath, I'm actually sick right now, so yeah. Since her hair is black, you don't have to do black for this tutorial, I'm going to do black. And as you can see, she's kind of in like a bluish, greenish area, so her hair kind of has like a blue tint to it, so I'm going to go with this one. Oh, my brush is really small. I'm going to go with this one. So I zoom in, and these are the colors. This is the base color, this one, and this is the highlight colors, these 2. So I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to go back to my reference and look at how the hair falls over her shoulders and how the hair flows, because hair will never be just like this. Hair doesn't flow like that unless it is really stiff. Okay, it flows wavy and it goes around and such. So yeah, brushes. That is the most important thing I think a lot of people want to know, is what brushes people use. This brush was actually made by one of my friends, but you can just make it. It's really easy because it's nothing special. Well, it's special, but you know. So I just have a basic round brush, which when you go into Photoshop, it'll be like this one, or like just a basic round brush with no pen pressure or anything. Then you go to shape dynamics, which is the first thing up here, and where it says size jitter and control, you change it from off to pen pressure, and don't worry about anything else. And you want it to transfer, which makes the ends of it like fade out, to opacity jitter to pen pressure and flow jitter to pen pressure, and then smoothing on and build up on. That is the brush that I use for hair all the time. So now we have our main color, which is this one right here. I'm just going to find out where the hair would fall on her face. So she has straight across bangs, and I'm not actually good at this. I should have picked a different hairstyle, but oh well, it's too late now. As you can see, her bangs go across her face, but she has kind of this like space here between her bangs. So I'm going to try to emulate that by just drawing a curved line. And then straight across bangs, because bangs don't go like this. Bangs go like this, basically. Well, some of them might not be like that, but bangs and hair are usually not flat unless you haven't washed it in a while. They're usually kind of curvy or like bouncy, if that makes sense. Her hair, her skull would be like, if I choose a different color, her skull, that's not a good color, her skull is like this. Or so, or like that almost, I guess. And hair is never flat against the skull. Hair will, unless you haven't washed your hair in like 3 days, it'll never lay flat against the skull. So hair always has the skull, and that's kind of pushed back a little bit. Well, her skull wouldn't be here, but you know. So whenever I draw hair, I always like to draw it a bit back from how the skull would be, because hair is never flat. And you just want to, if you're doing like straight but curly hair, you just want to do kind of swooping motions. And since some of it is going down her back, I will draw that, and some over her shoulder. So, I'm just going to fix this up, kind of. Maybe I'll give her some quick brows, because she looks kind of weird with no brow. Okay, these are terrible, but you know what? This is just to make her not look weird. This isn't a beauty tutorial. Okay? Okay. So once you've done that, I'll just merge this. You are going to make a new layer and select this, and with a around about 8 pixel brush, depending on how big your hair is, you just want to go over the main strands of the hair. I might make it 7, and you can also right click and do clipping mask to make sure it doesn't like go out of the lines. So what I'll do, step forward, and just, you're basically going over what you did, but just making the strands. That's the word I was looking for. Now when you draw hair, hair is movement, it's not flat. Hair has layers also. I'm not the best at drawing layers, but this is just a tutorial of how I do it. When I improve, I will probably make another tutorial. And then another layer, clipping mask, then the next color, and this time a 3 pixel brush so you can see it, and then you're just gonna draw the strands. another layer above that. So basically use the same thing and make the maybe 1 pixel, and this time instead of going over every one, you just want to go over a few. Then a new layer, and you don't have to put on clipping mask, and I'm just going to step straight to the lightest color and go on 1, and just wherever there would be highlights, depending where the light is coming from, you would add the highlight strands. So like there'd be highlights here and here. Okay, so this is really messy, but you know, you live, you learn. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shift, click this top layer, then hold shift, click the bottom layer and drag it into a folder and name that here. I'm going to make a layer above that, go to clipping mask and get black and dump it on that, overlay and lower it. So her hair is a bit darker than it was. I'm also going to lower this and get rid of this because I don't want it anymore. Making hair is a lot of I don't want this anymore and deleting layers because you find that some things look good and some things don't. See, this kind of looks, so I might lower a bit. Then I do another layer, clipping mask, right click the hair, it doesn't matter, then go and multiply and get a big brush, and wherever shadows would lay, so like behind the bangs and that and behind her body, I will draw the black, and underneath hair strands to make it more shadowed, and I do blur, Gaussian blur, and around 2.5, then I get a smudge tool and smudge it. And then I'd lower this so it's not as dark and do white overlay like that and do the same thing, but this time I'd lower it even more because hair is naturally not shiny AF and this hair is really green, so I might just merge this group, image adjustment, hue saturation, and pull the saturation down and the darkness so that it's not as green, but it's still there. So yeah, that is my really bad hair tutorial. Let me just take this so you can see it better. I hope you learned something from this or anything. If you have any questions, you can just leave a comment, and yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you in my next tutorial.